Hi Silverstone friends, it's Elizabeth Stone. Today we are gonna make chicken piccata, one of my very favorite dishes, and it's so easy to make, so I can't wait to show you how to do it. So I've got some chicken breast here that we cut into quarters. Basically, I cut them in half and then cut them in half again, so they're nice, easy sized pieces to work with. And then I've got white flour here. It's just about 2 cups of white flour. I'm gonna put in some salt, just a couple of big pinches of salt. And this is white pepper. I love to use white pepper with chicken piccata. It just gives it a nice, subtle flavor. You can also use black pepper if you like. You don't have to use white if you don't have it, but white pepper has a nice, subtle flavor to it. So now that we've seasoned our flour, I'm just gonna take these chicken breasts, put them in here, just pat them down a little bit, turn them over, and then you wanna shake that excess flour off and sit it over to the side like that, because we don't want that to clump up too much in the pan. So I'm gonna do this, and I've got a cast iron skillet here. Everybody knows I love my cast iron skillets. And I've got a little bit of olive oil in there. And I'm gonna put a touch of butter in there right before we start to make these. Okay, now we've done that. I put my flour up, and now I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to my skillet. So I've got a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in there, and I'm gonna add a couple of tablespoons of butter. And I love to use butter and olive oil because I love the flavor of butter, but it tends to burn very fast. So by adding the extra olive oil to it, it just keeps it from burning. Keeps your product, it gets your, whatever you're cooking, nice and brown, but it does not get burned. Or we hope it doesn't anyway. All right, so now this is nice and hot. I've had the skillet on for about 10 minutes on medium, and I'm gonna just lay these right in here and turn the heat up a little bit. Now you always wanna make sure when you're putting things in a skillet that you don't crowd things. You don't want them to touch. You just want them to be nice, fit nice and evenly in there, but without touching. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook for a few minutes, and we'll be right back, and we'll see what the finished product looks like. Okay, friends, so we've done about 8 minutes on each side of the chicken breast. I've just flipped them over once. Look how beautiful and golden brown they are. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in this dish because we're gonna make a fabulous sauce to go on top of this chicken piccata. And I'm gonna make it right in the skillet where we cook the chicken. Now, if you're gonna make this ahead of time, you can go ahead and put that in a 250-degree oven and let it wait until your guests arrive to serve. So I'm gonna take another piece of butter. So we've got all what I call the goodie. There's lots of goodie in the skillet. Look at all that beautiful brown goodness in there. And I'm gonna add, because there's never enough butter, and add a little more butter to it. Earlier today, we made a little sauteed onions and garlic, and I'm just gonna put an ever so small amount in here to give it a little flavor, about a teaspoon. And then I've got some capers that I'm gonna add to this. Just some capers that came out of a jar. I'm gonna add a couple of tablespoons. And then I've got some fresh lemon. I'm gonna squeeze 1 whole lemon in here. And then we're gonna finish it with just a touch of salt and a little white pepper. Give it some flavor. And now what happens, we're gonna cook this down a little bit, and all those yummy goodness that was on the bottom of the skillet is gonna come up and into that sauce. And I'm gonna let it get nice and hot, and then we're gonna put just a splash of white wine in there, but I'm gonna let it get nice and bubbly. And we're gonna put a little splash of white wine in there and finish it up. All right, now let's plate this up and see what it's gonna taste like. You know, we put a piece of chicken here, and then I'm gonna put some of the sauce right on top of it. Isn't that beautiful? A nice little brown butter white wine sauce. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Now, always have to have a glass of champagne. So we're gonna cut open and see what this looks like on the inside. Look at that, nice and cooked all the way through, very tender. And we're gonna take a bite. Got to get a little caper on there. So friends, here's to you, making cooking easy for you. Always have fun, always enjoy the experience. Until next time, cheers.